So, why does your time suck? Well, regardless of what you may have already actually studied and practiced legitimately on your instrument, if you're truly being honest with yourself, have you ever sincerely tried to do anything like what I'm about to show you right now and given it a real effort and genuinely cared enough about it to intend to strive to really make it sound as good as possible and accurate and precise and all that, all right? So, I'm gonna start with this demo now, and I'm also just really excited to show you guys my new drum kit that I just got. This is the snare drum here, and this is my ride cymbal, but I just love this kit so much. It was totally out of my price range. I really couldn't afford it, but I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I think I made the right decision because they just sound so good to me, and it really motivates me to practice them consistently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it for a minute right now, but I'm actually gonna play along with the clip of my guitar playing from the last video where I'm just playing a chorus of voicings over rhythm changes. And it's kind of like the practice is flipped upside down from guitar practice, where now I'm practicing along with a guitar, and it's like a Guitar Genius app. But I could have done this with iReal Pro and turned the drums down, but I actually think that this was better because I wanted to see if my guitar playing actually kept good time and I'm able to play along with it. Because if the guitar isn't keeping the time, then I won't be able to play the drums in time either, right? So I'll say more after and talk about some things briefly, but let me do this right now. So check this out. One, two, one, two, three, four. Yeah. All right. So, that was okay. The first two bars of the last A section, I paused because I've been practicing along with this, and the guitar playing like drags, a little bit, and I'm really not able to keep the time. So, you know, it's good to notice that. But the fact that the rest of it, I think, kept the time good enough so I could play along is good. And at the very least, I don't really care about embarrassing myself as a drummer because I'm not a drummer, even though I think it's a good idea, obviously, to practice this stuff. But even if there are a few inaccuracies, I think that's good for making my point here because it really highlights, the skill that it takes to keep this consistent and how that makes it sound good, as obvious as that sounds. So, this topic in music, I think, is one of those topics where it's really easy for a lot of people to talk the talk, but a lot of those same people I often find are not really walking the walk, if you know what I mean, all right? Because it's like when you're learning music, you often will hear things like, oh, like we study all these things like scales and chords and blah, 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 but it's really all about the rhythm and the time. That's the important thing, and no one talks about that. And it's logical and it's so easy for all of us to just agree with that, and then we'll just say it back and kind of express the same opinions. But it's more than just understanding that you got to know really what it means to be in time and keep the time. And if anyone actually knows anything where somebody is actually saying the opposite, let me know, just for entertainment purposes, where they're like, oh yeah, rhythm ideas are cool, but it's really all about arpeggios and scales. But there's no doubt several legitimate things that we can work on that will improve our time and our rhythmic sensibility. But at the end of the day, keeping time is keeping time, no matter what you're playing and what instrument you're on. Now, I have a few older videos on this channel. They're kind of rambly, but they go into detail, but they're on this topic of playing the drums and how it improves your time. They're specifically talking about playing the djembe and also like the practice pad, like a snare, but it's still good information and I still do those things as well. But, uh, Patrick Bartley has a video where I don't think I could have put it any more succinctly than he did on this topic, where he basically said that it's about playing constant time. you know, that's a really good way of looking at it, of what you have to appreciate, you know, the ability to do and keep it together. And comparatively speaking, I think, you know, because words do matter a lot for me and my understanding, I think the word, not, I think, I know the word that really clarified it for me originally was endurance. That's how I saw it. You know, I need to appreciate being able to, you know, even play chords or comp, but keep it consistent and perfect and be able to do it for a prolonged period of time and not mess it up. That's why I've really been into the juggling metaphor a lot with students when it comes to playing music a lot lately. But anyway, I've just really been appreciating doing this type of practice recently, especially where I'm actually doing something that gets a lot closer to playing an actual drum kit or like jazz drums and what you might be doing there, all right? And even just the ride cymbal alone, because that's all it takes, you know? Like even just doing this, and that'll show you really quickly. I mean, obviously, the ride cymbal in your typical straight ahead jazz, that's like the center, the foundation of the whole groove of what we're doing when we're swinging, you know? And believe me, do that for like a couple of minutes if you've never done it before, and then go and listen to someone like Jimmy Cobb on No Blues from Miles Davis live at the Blackhawk, and tell me you don't get it, you know, after listening to him and seeing what it's all about, all right, and locking up. And then if you like that, you know, you can listen to something a little later, like Tony Williams with Miles at the Plug Nickel on like Walkin' or something, you know, like, but you got to understand, you know, the importance of this, obviously. I know I'm rambling. So, like I was saying, playing the drum kit, I found, you know, had its unique advantages compared to playing the djembe or the practice pad. And like I said, nothing wrong with those at all. But everything that I was doing when playing those, it's more like linear playing, where nothing is ever hitting at the same time with the left and right hand. And even when I would do like a lot of beats on the djembe, but it was still linear, where I had like a constant subdivision, and like the accent is kind of what like created the groove, which is cool. But never played like the same hand at the same time. So the drum set is more like, you know, like a full band, and every part of the drum is like its own instrument or part. And just even doing some basic snare comps with the ride cymbal beat takes some coordination and practice, right? Because you got to think about stuff like, same thing like if you're a piano player, like in order to get it fluent and confident, you got to know like, is the left, because the main thing would be like the right hand or the ride cymbal. So whenever your accents come with the snare, you got to know like, is it playing like at the same time, or is it in between, or like, you know, the ride, it's alternating between just a quarter and an eighth. But like with this, it might be like, is it coming like one hit and then nothing for the second eighth note, or like the second eighth note there? So, you know, I think you get what I mean, all right? So I actually made a PDF, if anyone is interested, of just some basic drum things. It starts with just the ride cymbal, but it has like the ride cymbal part, and then the different like individual like comping patterns that I may have been using when I was playing. And it has both instruments and the rhythms. You see how they overlap, but you also see like the right left, so you'll see exactly like when to hit what, like I was saying, and what hits at the same time. So it's definitely something worth practicing if you want to check it out, all right? So PDF is available on my website, as well as my Patreon, where you'll get all the videos on this channel for only $5 a month. So obviously that's the best deal to take. And that's it. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you know, like the video, subscribe, do all that. Just support me. If you're interested in taking lessons or anything, just feel free to reach out to me. And I'll see you guys in the next one.